Well, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are, when you're watching from. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to come over and hang out with us. It's really fun to have spend some time with you, and I hope you're having a great day with sewing and not too much time with our friend Jack the Seam Ripper. Anyway, I've brought along my friend Brittany from Bottom with Brittany. We've been a while since we've had her on, and I thought it'd be fun to have her back on. I'm excited to hang out with her for a little bit. So if you haven't checked out her channel, if you're watching the live chat with us right now, you should be able to go in and put in exclamation point guest. Oh, hang on. I haven't updated that yet. Whoops. Okay. Whoopsies. Okay, let's try exclamation point Brittany. Anyway, so yeah, you can go over to her channel, check it out. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, why I go fix that real quick, I'm gonna let Brittany introduce herself, tell us a bit about who she is, what she does, and a little bit more about her channel. So it's all over to you, Brittany, as soon as I find the right button. We are having a hot mess here this morning. Okay, there. Oh, wrong camera. We'll try again. There we go. There's Brittany. All right, over to you.
Hey everyone. Okay, so I'm Brittany Fisher from Bobbin with Brittany, and I focus on quilting and long arming, but I also have some cross stitch and machine embroidery in there. This year, I'm an Island Boutique ambassador, and Island Boutique has a new parent company, Lumen Fabrics, and they're coming out with two other companies, White Owl and Echo Cotton. And so we're kind of navigating that whole new fabric future of that company, and it's a lot of fun. So every month I do Island Boutique challenges. You can go over to my blog and see that, and there's giveaways, and you can see us on Facebook and Instagram. And as far as my channel, I like to do start to finish projects so you can see the whole thing, and I always include my lessons learned within my videos because we all make mistakes. Not a big deal, it's all fixable, and that's how I do my channel. So yeah, thanks for having me on, Sean. It's a lot of fun. I had a great
Well,
time
good.
last
I'm so
time as well. I learned a lot and met some new people. It was great.
well, good. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and I'm glad you accepted my invitation to come back. When people decide to come back, it means we've done something right. At least that's how I like to think about it. So thank you for that. And I have fixed her link why Brittany was telling us a bit about herself. So that way, if you want to go ahead and put in exclamation point guest during the live stream, you can. If you're watching the replay, you'll be able to find her link in the description as well. So you've got that option there as well. I always like to tell people because I don't want to confuse anybody. Anyway, before I show you what I'm working on, I'll just go ahead and say good morning or good evening to everybody because we do have people watching, or good afternoon. We do have folks watching from the UK and other parts of Europe. We also have folks watching from Australia, including my friend Marty, who I believe is one of my Australian viewers. Hopefully I got that right. Anyway, we'll go back to the top of the chat before I get too distracted. Looks like Polly was in first this morning. Good morning to Miss Laurie. Miss Patricia is here as well. Good morning to each of you. Molly says good morning, Sean, Georgia, and all. It's a slightly cooler day here in Texas. Yeah, I think today's supposed to be another warm one here in Virginia, but tomorrow is supposed to cool down a little bit. So that'll be nice. I think we'll be back in the mid-20s Celsius, mid-70s in Fahrenheit. Happy Klein is here with us. Good morning to you. Good morning to Miss Pat from Cumberland County in Nova Scotia. I didn't realize you were in Nova Scotia. I thought you were in Ontario. So here we are. I'm learning something new this morning. Good morning to Miss Dawn. Good morning to Mr. Clint. And we'll have Clint on next week, the boy Stitcher. If you have a channel, please take this opportunity to go ahead and put your link into the chat. It should be exclamation point in your first name. Please make use of that. Don't spam, of course, but no, none of you guys ever do. Otherwise, I'd cut you all off. Brenda Foley, good morning to you out there in Kentucky. Muriel Hanson, Melanie Taylor, Crystal Dragon, Miss Rita is here with us. Good morning, Andrea. Please let me know if the captions are working. It should be. I turned it on this morning, I think. We'll soon find out. Becky Spencer, good morning to Miss Margie. Good morning to my friend Sheila over there on the other side of the water from me. Good morning to Mr. Stephen from the Idiot Quilter. Bettina is here with us. Zaza, good afternoon to you. And I think I just about caught everybody. So, good morning to Miss Kathy. I hope you are working with your beautiful new machine. She just got a new one recently, a far just like mine. She got an upgraded model. So I'm excited for her. Mimi Sewing Station says, good morning, Sean from Michigan. Dawn Stewart is here with us. And Dawn, I did get your email the other day with your quilt show entries. I saw it this morning and I was like, I have not replied to you. But I definitely did get that. So now I have an opportunity to tell you that. That's excellent. Okay, I'm like the worst at doing emails sometimes, so bear with me. If you don't hear from me, please email back and go, Sean, hey, what's going on? Why are you
It's
ignoring
either
me?
immediate or, a few days later, a week later.
It's like, well, yeah, because a lot of times I mentally reply to an email, and
Oh
I'm the
no.
worst at it. And I don't know. Um, oh, that's right, Marty. That is Miss Jan. I'll get it right there in a minute there. So there you go. Ah, okay. My memory is correct. Pat says I moved from Muskoka, Ontario to Cumberland County, Nova Scotia on August 1st, now looking over the Bay of Fundy. Okay, very nice. I know exactly where that is. So there we go. So okay, I haven't gone crazy. Well, I have, but not in that way. Anyway, so Brittany is working on loading her long arm, which those things terrify me. So I'm glad it's her doing it, not
Oh,
me.
that's what I tell people. Like, if you don't love it, just send it off. It's, find someone that loves to do it, and you can make another quilt while they're quilting your project, and it works out really well for everyone.
That's how I feel about it, because I don't, I'm assuming you're in a basement based on the angles I'm looking
Yeah.
at here. And I don't have a basement. I'm at sea level, or maybe 10 feet above sea level. So, building a basement here would be darn near impossible. So I don't have the room for it. I had to kick one of the kids out. I don't think they'd like that too much. Plus, I don't have the money for it. And I figure, like you just said, for the amount of money I'd spend on a long arm and the amount of times I'd use it, I might as well just send off the quilts and let someone else play with it, and I can move on
Yeah.
to something else. So,
And that's
yeah.
what I tell people too. Like, if you don't love doing it, like, take a class and see if like it sparks something in your brain, but don't let the cost, like, oh, if I like, even if you have 30 quilt tops piled up, it's going to take 4 to 6 hours per project. I mean, just have all that time back and spend the money, with the long arm services.
Yeah.
So,
Support a small business somewhere and do it. Yeah,
yeah.
that's really how I see it. So yeah, I won't say I'll never get one, but at this point there is no intention. I'll just support a small business here and there
Yeah. And you can
when I
even see
need
if you
it.
can rent them too. Like, I think
Yeah,
if
but
I
then I
had to
still got
do it
to.
over like really big queen size projects, it's better to just rent the frame and they do the tension on it. It's a lot easier.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I still think I'd rather just pay someone to do it and just not even
And
worry about it.
I wish I didn't love
Like,
it so much. I'd love to just send it off and get a finished quilt back and then be piecing the next one.
yeah. I mean, I'm stubborn. I like to do all the stuff myself, but there are a couple of quilts that are ginormous that I think I'm gonna have to just send off to somebody at some point. But that's a future Sean problem to deal with.
No,
Um, Marty says she does. Well, Jan, I'll get it right here in a minute. Says that doesn't know how much it is in the US, but here in Australia, it's so expensive to take quilt tops to a long armor. I think it varies on who you take it to and that sort of thing there. But I think I've seen prices between what 2.5 cents to maybe 4 cents a square inch for that. So it's I don't know. Sheila says
it
I can
depends
rent
on the
one at
area.
Sunshine. Yeah, Sunshine Quilt Corner. I've seen that. Sunshine Quilt Corner is a quilt shop that's on the other side of the water for me. It's about 25, 30 minutes. I've played with long arms a few times, and it doesn't really speak to me at this point in time. So yeah, maybe down the road I'll play at that, but at this time I think I'll just leave it as it is. Kathy says my first big girl sewing machine is working wonderfully. I'm fidgeting with the spool holder docked on top to hold a large superior French spool. Geez, I can't read this morning. She can write, I just can't read. I promise you it's not just me. Oh, actually, I can promise you it's not her, it's me. Okay, so slow down, Sean, and let's just get this going. I have decided I'm going to work on some of my cotton cuts puzzle mystery quilts. I thought today would be a good opportunity. If all goes well, I'm going to do up clue 2 of the brand new one, Medusa, which is the Under the Sea. This is a series of batiks. So yeah, it must be batik day here as well. So these are the beautiful fabrics that came with the clue. Mine was delayed a little bit because one of the fabrics or two of the fabrics or whatever it was delayed getting to cotton cuts. So it only got to me like a week or two ago. And then if time allows, which at the rate I'm going, I don't like y'all's chances, we might do clue 8 of the flamingo, which is cafe facet. I don't know how you pronounce it as well. So we'll see how things go with that there as well. Jan says she got a quote for a lap quilt and was going to cost 400 Australian. Okay, yeah, it depends. So Sheila said she finally made it the fabric hut. The owner is really nice. Yes, he is pretty much everybody there at Fabric Hut was really, really nice there. I've never really had a bad experience there. So that's true. Sheila says, is it worth the pain of tunnel traffic situation to come over here to Longham? Probably not. I don't know. At this point, I think I'm just going to say, I'm just going to let someone else do it. So we'll see what happens there. So
especially if it's affordable, like some places are really saturated with long armors, and they're just doing really ridiculously low prices.
Yeah. Well, it's like that. Like when you, I don't know if you've ever tried Etsy, but it's kind of the same way of selling stuff on Etsy. Like everything's so saturated there that some people I think are selling at a cost, which if they're doing it just for fun and fun and enjoyment and a way to do their craft, good for them. But it makes it hard if you're trying to make any money. So there you go. Let's see. Andrea says Missouri Star is doing a long arm giveaway. You get a ticket with every $25 you spend. Unfortunately for me, I don't have the money to spend on fabric right now. Yeah, I'm not far behind you there.
Oh, it is. It's getting up there.
Yeah, well, it's not as bad as
shops closing, so I've been finding those and getting some big discounts, but that's really sad too that it wasn't sustainable for them through this market.
Well, it seems like the stores around our area, like the quilt shops, are actually gotten busier since Joanne's said farewell. So, but yeah, I mean, fabric prices are going up, as you can see. I've seen, here in the US, we're still very, very fortunate compared to other areas of the world. I mean, I'm sure Jan can chime in here for the prices in Australia, but the last time I was down there in 2017, they were charging anywhere between 30 and 35 Australian a meter, which is just a hair over a yard. Yeah. So yeah, it's hurting us right now looking at $12 to $15 a yard US, but it could be a lot worse. So, but we will move on to a happier subject because I like to try and keep the conversation moving in a nice positive direction. There's enough negativity out there in the world, and I like to keep it where we all have a good time. So it's a good time to shop your stash where you can. Okay, Michelle the Quilter is here with us. Good morning, Miss Margie. I know I've missed people, and I apologize in advance if I did miss someone. So Deb S is here with us as well. Let's go back up real quick and make sure I didn't see if I missed anyone. No, I think we might be okay. Layla, I think we said good morning to you, but maybe we didn't. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we'll start on clue 8 as soon as I find. Oh, there it is, over there. Okay, so these are all the beautiful colors that I am using. We have 5 of the 6 colors in this clue, and try and show you. Yeah. And the joy, it's always nice doing a new puzzle mystery quilt, but then you've also got to sit here and try and learn all the colors again. I think these are in order. Yes. Okay. So, Brittany, what have you been up to recently? What's been going on in your part of the world? Because I haven't really had a chance to catch up with you in a very, very long time. So I'd love to hear what's happening.
Other than the Island Boutique stuff, we had some house construction going on. We built on a new garage, and that closed down my long arm services for a while. And now with this new addition, like we got all new drainage. So now I feel a lot better about like the cleanliness. There's less dust in the basement. It is bone dry down here now. So I'm feeling super good about that. And that was, a 3-month project.
Oh,
stuff
wow.
packed up.
So is
how
your
that
long
works.
arming that like your main source? Like, is that your main source of income or job, or do you have a full-time job outside of the
I've
sewing
got a
world?
full-time job. I'm a developer for in an
O-
insurance field. So I
Okay.
used to be a data analyst for a long time, and I shifted more towards the development side. But yeah, I work a
Uh,
lot with the FMCSA monitoring USDOT on the roads. So I collect their violations and stuff and their federal filings, and it's insurance. It's not as glamorous as sewing, but it funds sewing.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, we need something that pays the bills and keeps the lights on and the internet bill and all that sort of stuff there too. So yeah.
Yeah.
I work full time as well outside of the sewing field. As much as I'd like to be able to do this full time, it's just not in the cards yet, and it may never be.
Well, and it's a good long-term, backup plan. I always think of it as just coins in the jar. You get a couple more patterns, and contracts going up, and a couple more people know you. So if someday you have to switch it on, you'll be ready.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because you just never know. They might tell you next week, oh, by the way, restructured and we don't need you no
Yeah.
more. So
But it hasn't happened yet.
no, I've been very,
People
very
always need
lucky.
insurance. So, and I always knew that, like, even in college, I'm like, I knew I'd get into insurance. Like, yeah, it's required. There's always going to be jobs in insurance.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, you want something that's kind of like almost AI proof, which that would be.
Oh, man. Yeah. The whole AI conversation.
Yeah,
Right now,
there's
it's
skip.
like it's your friend. They're like it's your co-pilot. It just works alongside you and helps you with your work. But someday, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, we'll just make it work.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. And you've had your channel for a while now. You've had it for how many years?
Let's see. Um. So I had an earlier channel, and I was like, I'm done with this. Like, I'm not doing it. And then I restarted it. So I think it's been 3 years on this channel.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because I think I'm coming up to um,
Okay.
4 years if I remember correctly.
And there's so many more channels now. Like when I started my first one, I was like, well, there's just not a lot of quilting stuff out there, and I just want to like have more of what I love, like more stuff out there so people can see how fun quilting is. And now there's like all these new channels and they're doing a great job. I'm like, no one needs me anymore. I don't know. Like now I got all
Yeah,
these new channels to watch.
I know, but I think it's a good thing that we have more channels, because
Yeah,
if I
I
can
love
do it,
them.
anyone can. And there's plenty of room for us all. We're not all going to be, have a million subscribers, and that's okay. I love each and every person that decides to hang out with me each week. And, I'm just here to have fun. If I ever stop having fun, I'm going to be like you the first time and say, yeah, okay, thanks all for the ride, but it's time to go. Um, FEEC. Okay.
And it's also liberating to just be doing your own projects and do things your way. If you had to work with big brands or like had some other contracts, it might be tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I partner with Cotton Cuts, as you probably well know, and
Yeah.
as an ambassador for them. And I'm also an affiliate there with Artie's Quilting Co., both companies I adore. Um,
And that's the thing,
yeah,
those repeat affiliates are like who I watch for. I'm like, they choose them over and over, like choose each other. That's a good business relationship.
it is. Yeah. And like with Art East, especially, like I just started making their products and because I love the patterns.
Mhm.
And, now I've been given the opportunity to affiliate with them. So, that helps us out as well. It helps me get patterns and other stuff and do stuff that I wouldn't be able to do otherwise. So
Yeah,
that's
right
really
now
good
I've
that I'm
got
able to.
the Autumn Nights cross stitch along with Fat Quarter Shop, and I've
Oh,
just been
nice.
like fangirling that. I was like, they picked me. It was just crazy because I do like quilting projects with Fat Quarter Shop too, but I mean, that's like Pat Sloan territory and Gina. like really big names. So it was really cool to start cross stitching with them.
Yeah, I
So
keep looking at cross stitch and I'm like, that'd be something fun to try. But I was like, do I really need a do I really need another hobby? Like this takes up pretty much all my free time, and the kids take up the rest of it, which is great. I love
mhm.
having the kids here. I was just like, I don't know if there's any more room for cross stitch, unfortunately. So maybe one day, if I was to pick up something else, I think cross stitch probably would be it. There's some fun patterns out there I would love to try at some point in my life, but I don't think it's happening anytime soon.
Another thing I like about cross stitch though is like it doesn't take up a lot of space. You have your cloth, your floss, a bag, some needles. Quilting, you got all the fabric storage and tubs, and then the machine, and then this long arm setup takes up the whole basement.
Yeah,
Like
and
it
that's
is.
the nice thing about the cross stitch too. I think you were saying, like, you don't need a lot of stuff. It's very portable. Like you can take it with you to the office. You can take it with you
Yeah.
um, on a bus or a train or that sort of thing. There, I think you can even get it
Yeah.
onto an airplane. So
I know, and I'd like to do more hand piecing, but the prep time I'm finding, like you have to go still in a room and get everything set up for like I like to do hand stitch applique. And like you do all the freezer papers and cut everything out, like the prep time's a lot. So by the time I'm on the go, like it only takes me 20 minutes to stitch up what I spent half hour prepping.
right, yeah, that makes it challenging. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe one day, but it won't be today. Uh, Sheila says cross stitcher here. Liberty Hill cross stitch shop in Williamsburg is wonderful. That's nice to know.
Ooh.
So now you got to talk me into doing cross stitch there, Sheila. Between you and Sheila, I think I'm in trouble now. So, uh-oh,
It
we
is
will
nice.
see.
Like I have a 4-year-old son, and it is just so loud and intense that when I get him dropped off at school and I just stitch for a little bit, like it is so quiet, and I really cherish that time
Oh,
rather
for
than hopping
sure.
on the machine and getting everything fired up.
Sounds good. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to give it a go sometime. Sorry, this piece of fabric folded over as I was sewing it, so now I'm trying to carefully rip that little section out.
Yeah, so I'll introduce this project that's on my long arm is my final big quilt for Island Boutique, and I'll release it in November. But you got to make it several months in advance, and then do the pictures and the blog posts, and I'll write a pattern for this. So this is actually the sneak peek to it that I haven't showed anyone anywhere.
I know, so we're all in for a
So
special treat here. So,
I don't know how much you can see. I'll go ahead and cascade it. So that's the sneak peek.
very nice. I like that.
It's
Yeah, there's a
called
lot of
Cherry Festival.
Blossom Cherry Festival. Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Yeah. So that's
All right. I think that's better. Kathy says she cross-stitched so many quilty projects and decided to start quilting. Very nice. Joyty knits when she's on the go. Yeah, that's the thing I'm always jealous about my wife is she's a big knitter. And she can knit when she's in the movie theater, she can knit walking down the street. That sort of thing there. It'd be nice to have something that I can do when we're out and about. But I don't know, we'll have to see.
yeah, I can't do the yarn stuff like because you need a specific tension, and I could never get that right. I made a hat and it was so small, like I had to find a person with the smallest head to wear this hat that I made. I didn't get it. I love it, but that's not for
Yeah, and
me.
hats, from what I understand, hats are hard. Like I think Amanda started with washcloths, which is a great way to start knitting. And then you can work on like scarves and that sort of thing there. But yeah, the hats, it's weird because you got to use like double pointed, double ended knitting needles, or I think she used to call them the devil's fingers. Um, sort of thing there. So yeah, I don't know, maybe give it a, if you want to try knitting again, try and do it where it's something easier. So I see now Sheila's really trying to enable me. She said she'd be happy to meet up with me if I'm interested. We could get up that store and then go to Halo Inspirations, which is a store where we both know the owners pretty well there. She says that's dangerous though. Ask me how I know. Yes. The last time I was there, I went up there. I went up to that store a couple of months ago. As I said, I know the owners. You know, I met them at the quilt show a few years ago. Wonderful people. If you ever get a chance to go see them, please do so. And I figured I'd be there for, half an hour, 45 minutes. Well, about 2 hours and 55 minutes later, I'm still just sitting there talking and all that sort of stuff there. So yeah, it can be dangerous to go there. But wonderful people. Love the quilt shop. It's in this tiny little shop. And every corner has something different for you to look at. So if you ever get a chance to go up there and hang out with them, it's definitely worth the trip. So there you go. Let's see. Andrea says quilting's taken over her entire house with the exception of bathrooms. Good move. Bedroom at my husband's office and the kitchen. Yeah. I've taken over
the bathroom, so even the bathroom is not safe.
Yeah, there you go. Dawn says she takes EPP in the car with her, but it's new to me. I maybe have 10 pedals done. It's my use up tiny scraps ongoing projects. Good morning, Miss Nancy says, jumping in late. Hi, Sean and everyone. Let's see. I know I've missed stuff. Yeah, Zaza says cross stitch is a good take if you hobby. I did that before quilting. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to do that. Kathy Hutchison's here. Good morning to you. Other folks talking about apparently there's people nearby. Last week, and we had 2 people from the Mornington Peninsula in Victoria, Australia, that were very close to each other. I don't know if they're here today because it is rather late down there. It's almost 10:30 p.m. So they may be asleep already. And I wouldn't blame them if they did.
Yeah, I can't stay up past 9 anymore.
Yeah. D and A. Two of these. Oh, okay. I see what's going on now. Some of these colors are fairly similar, so we really have to be intentional about making sure they're correct. Because I've sewn the wrong things together before and then had to go rip them out, and it's never fun.
Yeah.
Zaza says the Mornington Peninsula is lovely. It's a little area south of Melbourne in Victoria. I've never been there, unfortunately, but maybe one day I'll get down there. And Dawn says she also has a small cross-stitch project stashed with a job for when she has downtime. Yeah, that might be an idea too. I really don't need to start taking my what's it called? The Winnie the Pooh project. It has some hand stitching on there as well, like hand embroidery, I guess you call it. And I keep meaning to take that to the office with me, but I always remember when I get to the office. So we will see. All right, here we go. So have you had any fun projects going on at your site recently with whether it's Island Boutiques or something else?
Let's see. So I have a sew along page. I think the only active one, like I've got some subscription boxes and we're waiting for the spooky box to come out with that quarter shop. And then Autumn Nights, all the weekly information's there. And then, yeah, just like monthly and Island Boutique Ambassador challenges. So they just did the Oliso cover challenge, like the cover for your iron. Everyone decorated theirs. That was really fun.
You don't have an
So for
iron
mine, I
cover
did like
for
a rope
mine.
basket and I just wrapped it around the iron cover. I thought that was
There
so
you
fun.
go.
Because that was all like binding scraps. I've got a big tub next to my sewing machine. I just throw the rest of the binding in that and like I'll figure that out later. And this is what I ended up doing, just like roping them or braiding them together.
Oh, that's an idea. I hadn't thought of that. That sounds, yeah, that could work quite nicely.
Because
So
like with working with scraps and like trying to get the colors together, that's a lot of mental energy. I feel like with rope projects, they just go together.
Oh, for sure. I tend to do okay with scraps because I find like when I do my Art East projects and that sort of thing, there a lot of times they need like a really tiny piece of green or blue or whatever color it is. So I tend to use up a lot of my scraps with those projects because yeah, you don't need a whole lot. So I can usually shop for my stash somewhere.
Yeah,
There
I've
you
got
go.
the EQ8 software, and they have a whole foundation paper piecing block set. I want to try those, all those little pieces.
There you go. Have you done much with FPP at all, or are you more traditional?
I'm starting to get more into FPP. I had the woven stars quilt last year, and before that, I did like a log cabin that was pieced. So like one big quilt a year is FPP, but it's like traditional piecing. I haven't done anything too extreme or odd angled.
Yeah, I've worked on a couple of FPP projects. I mean, I've done more this year, I think, than I have ever. Both of my state fair projects this year were FPP, which if you told me that a year or two ago, would have told you absolutely insane. It just happened to work out that way. The patterns that I picked, which is actually these two here. Oh, hang on, come here, you. The courthouse steps and
Okay.
the woven star. I made a quilt out of a mini quilt, like a doll quilt, same size as one behind me here, out of this, and then I made a cushion cover using both of these. So
Okay.
we will see in about
Nice.
3 weeks if the judges liked them and put ribbons on them or not. We will see. I'm hopeful, but you know, there's also a lot of very, very talented sewists and quilters here in Virginia. So it just depends on how I did compared to the rest of the fine folk here. So if there's a ribbon attached to them, wonderful, I'll be ecstatic. But if not, you know, I'm very proud of my work and they'll be displayed proudly here in the house regardless. So yeah, we'll see what happens. All right. So what is everybody else here in the chat working on today? Are we working on something fun? I'd love to hear what you guys are working on. Let's see. I'm just making sure I'm doing this right. Yeah. Already to pull out the seam ripper once today. I'd rather not do it twice. We're very quiet here this morning, which is not a bad thing. Okay, let's see what's going on in the chat here. Andrea says she used to have a large knitting machine, large enough to knit big blankets, but unfortunately it was one of the things she lost in Hurricane Harvey. It was about 8 foot long and just loaded the number of hooks in the perfect size for the project I was making. Then I ran the shuttle back and forth and did knitting. I only had to worry about it when I wanted to change yarn. Of course, it only did knit and purl, nothing fancy. Yeah, I've only seen a knitting machine once. And that was like a smaller one that was like the size that you could make socks with it, or a sock. I think what I call a sock blank. It's neat to see how those things work. Yeah, it would be fun to see one a little bigger.
Like
Raven
when
O,
those
is he
little
with
videos come
us?
up on Instagram, like it's hypnotic.
It is. Seeing it in person is even better. Like, I think Amanda had to make a sock blank once. Well, it's like a tube of knitted material. And then I think all you have to do is cut it and add the heel and the toe and the cuff, and away you go. So this is what I've done so far. So we're making some progress. Okay, Molly says she's working on the antlers of her Dwight the Deer quilt I'm making for a nephew. That's awesome. Layla's tidying her sewing room looking for her magic clips. I have so many of those darn things. I think I had about 100, and then some of them broke, and then I think I bought 200 more of them last year because I use a lot for my different projects. And then I was looking in my sad little bucket the other day, and I've only got this many left, so I went out and bought 300 more recently. So Let's get the off-brand ones that you can find on Amazon. I can
Mhm.
put a link in if anyone's interested. They're like $6 for 100 of them, and they work really, really well. So I can't afford the Wonder Clips or Magic Clips, whatever like the official brand ones are. They're just a little too expensive for me.
Yeah, it's like $11 for 10 of them.
Yeah, yes. No, I buy it. I buy the 100 pack for $6. They work.
Mhm.
They work beautifully for me. I mean, yeah, occasionally one breaks here and there, but I figure, that's better than buying them for $1 a piece. I just don't have that sort of money laying around, unfortunately, and I'd rather spend it on fabric. Good morning to Miss Kim. It's good to see you as well. Clint is catching up on the chat. Thank you so much, Michelle. I hope you enjoy. I think Michelle had subscribed to him earlier today, so that's good. Brenda is prepping for the virtual jacket class with Adita Sitar. I'm probably butchering that name later today. It sounds like fun. Let's see. Nikki is cutting fabric from maple leaf wall hanging. I can tell you, I'm not wording today. Dawn is working on a snuggly sweater quilt. That sounds fun. And I think Kathy was working on like a sweater quilt thing so long. It looks really fun. I've seen the fabric she shared on, I think, my Instagram account, what fabric she's using, and I think it's going to look really, really neat. So I'm excited to see what she has going on. Margie is still working on the kittens, completed 18 faces, 18 to go. Okay, well, it's always good to get to that first half, and then you can, I don't know, once you get to this halfway point for me, I think like it's a lot easier. So, I don't know, maybe this is me. C, D, okay, that one. I'm so scared I'm going to mess this up. These are all so pretty together. Let me sew this together and I'll show you. There we go. All right. Now, and of course, the thread came out. Oops. There's nothing to cut there, son. All right, let's try this again. This machine really does not like this. What is this? Oh, well, that might explain a lot there, Sean. Didn't have this thing threaded properly. I had an extra loop from when I was doing a bobbin winding earlier. Oh, that's intelligent, Sean. No wonder it was misbehaving.
Oh, so my bobbin sensor stopped working on my machine, and it is inconvenient.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh, like just Stone Age sewing now. I gotta watch for it, and it's just it sneaks up on you so bad. Like you watch it and you watch it and you get like a little too confident, like yeah, enough, and then boom.
Yeah, you play bobbin chicken and sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. Like this machine here is nice because it has the drop-in bobbin, so you can kind of see how much is left. With my Benina, it's the metal bobbin that goes in, the other way, and you have no idea. There's no sensor on it, there's no
Underneath.
anything like that. So you go along and you play bobbin chicken and you hope for the best.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times I win and a lot of times I lose. So, but that's okay. We all have fun.
At least you're using every bit of it. This thread never goes on sale, so I'm pretty stingy with it.
Yep. Let's see. Clint says, Brittany, it looks like you like to load your quilt onto the bar instead of floating. I've always floated the top, but just started loading it, and I like it much better. Okay. I hope that makes sense to you because that's all French to me. So
Yeah, so instead of floating it, I pin it down, and that's because I get a really nice straight edge at the bottom. There's no sorts of bowing, and it keeps me really lined up the whole way through. And also, like I don't want to step on it, so it's nice to have it up more.
well, good, yeah. And it's like anything else. I'm sure there's like multiple ways of doing it
Oh,
and
there's
whatever
so
works
many,
best.
yeah. And I'm always experimenting and trying new things, but this is, especially for this one, I want it just up and as square as possible because I'm going to hang it on a wall. Like, and floating is totally fine. I mean, for like cuddle quilts and just getting it all stitched up, and as long as you keep your batting straight the whole way down, I mean, that works great. It saves you a lot of time too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Hey, you do what works best for you, is what I'd always tell you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki says it's a 50-degree morning here in mid-Missouri. It's a good morning for coffee and a warm lap quilt. I love this fall weather. Yeah, it's nice. It's starting to, well, for the most part, starting to cool down here. So it'll be warmer later today, but tomorrow's supposed to be nice, and next week's supposed to be nice, which is good. I'll turn it this way. Maybe it's easier to see it this way. There we go. So we've got that. Sheila says after breakfast, she'll be working on the first block of the sweater weather solo. I think that was the one that I was talking about with that Kathy was doing. So that is awesome. I think it'd be fun to do that, but I have more than enough on my plate right now. Starting something else would not be a smart move. But having said that, someone's got to come along with something next week that I'm not going to be able to say no to. So.
And that was a big goal of mine for the beginning of this year. Like, I'm only doing Island Boutique stuff and finishing old projects. And I got blasted through about 19 of them. I still have 2 left, and then I'm all caught up. That's going to be really weird.
Yeah, that point where you have everything finished and you don't know what to do next. Yeah, I've never had that problem. So
I'd love to run out of fabric at some point. I'm like, the prices are up. Maybe it's time to really tackle the stash, but I don't know. There's always something new that comes along. It's like, oh, it's too pretty.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you got to do what makes you happy,
Yeah.
Tracy says, hi, Sean.
I will be like the biggest enabler. If you've got the room for the fabric, you can have it. If it makes you happy and you got room for it.
And the money and all that good stuff, then yeah, go for it. So, all right. Miss Tracy is starting to go to pajamas by Arctic Ace Quilting Co. She is practicing for the quilt along in April. Yes. So I am super excited about that. That is what she's referring to as the second star to the right. It's a Peter Pan inspired quilt along that will be starting in April. Normally, John and the crew up there start their quilt alongs. It's a yearly thing. And it starts in October, but this time around they decided to push it back a little bit. And I for one, am super grateful for that because it actually gives me a chance to finish up the current ones that I'm working on, like the Winnie the Pooh. I've made some good progress on that. You'll be able to see that tomorrow. And then I'm hoping to finish the other one from last year, the Alice in Wonderland, because I still have 3 more blocks of that to make. So when he announced it was going to be April, I was very, very happy. And that I actually might have a chance of being caught up and actually be able to stay caught up with the next one. But, time will tell. Let's see. Yeah, Tracy, which one did you choose? Did you choose the dawn or dusk? I think the dusk is the all blue background and the dawn is the more colorful one, or is it the other way around? I'm going to try and do the more colorful one. Still have to go in and place my order. Otherwise, there'll be no kit left for me. Margie says her granddaughter joined the Navy, just finished training when we moved to Virginia Beach. Is that near me? Yes, I actually work in Virginia Beach. My office is in Virginia Beach. Yeah, I'm very close to Virginia Beach. Yeah, we're in Virginia Beach. I mean, I'm there like several times a week. So yeah, she'll be very, very close. I think that she's in the Navy. She's probably going to be on Naval Station Norfolk, which again is not far from me. All right. So that's a good question to ask here. I'm reading Andrea's comment here. It says, you and me both, Sheila, LOL. I only wanted to work on my own designs this year, but I got sucked into at least one solo long on every channel I follow. I do not like the ones that take a year to finish. So if you join a solo long with a channel, do you prefer the ones that are shorter or longer?
Good question.
For me, it depends on the project. I don't want it to be too quick, but then I don't want it to drag out for ever in a day either. But, like for the...
Yeah, so I'm doing the Prairie Home sew along, and that's a year long. And I've been just diving in every 3 months and just cluster sewing the sections because, yeah, I don't like to just do one block and wait a month.
Yeah,
on
I
board
always
with
tend to
that.
fall behind.
Yeah. Then like in Facebook groups, people are posting from like a year later, like, "Hey, I wrapped that thing up." Like, like everyone's still excited to see it. It's so fun.
Yeah, I'm over a year behind on the Alice in Wonderland one, and that's okay. We'll finish it when we finish it. I just choose to enjoy the journey. One of these days, I'll finish one of those things on time. I don't tend to do a lot of solo-longs on this channel. I just make stuff, and if you want to um, join along, you're more than welcome to, and I would be excited if you did. But if you just want to follow along and just see what craziness I've gotten up to, please tell me I did that wrong, right? That's not right.
Oh no.
Did that
Team
wrong.
Ripper's
Put
back.
it on the top and said, "Yep, I guess I'll make Jack's back out in action again today." Oh well, it is what it
See,
is.
that's why I'm hooked on batiks, because there isn't really a wrong side to them. Like when I'm
I
writing
know.
pattern instructions, I'm like, I really don't think about what the right side is. So
Well,
take
what
a
I
little
did is
extra effort.
I attached this section here. It should be down the bottom. So
Oh,
this is correct over here. This is not so correct. So,
yeah.
but it's okay. It's only like a 3-inch square that I got to rip out. It's not a whole lot. So, speaking of stuff I'm not going to rip out, you'll see this on tomorrow's podcast. But since everyone's here, we'll do a little sneak peek. I've been working on Christopher Robin, which is part of the 100 Acre Wood Solo Along by Artie's Quilting Co. This is what it's going to look like eventually. This blog. I went ahead and made his face.
Uh,
I put it all together, and then I realized that this ear is supposed to look like this one.
oh no. Oh, I wouldn't even have noticed though.
Exactly,
This
because
is the ear.
I showed the girls and I showed Amanda last night, and I was like, "Look, do you like this?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, it's pretty, it's really nice." And I said, "Did you see that it's different?" And they're like, "No." So I was like, "I'm not
Right.
ripping it out.
Yeah.
It's going to take me way too long, and it says it's supposed to be messy here." So I was like, "You know what? It's just going to be messy in its own little way." So I'm not fixed. Yeah, for me to rip that out, I'd have to rip like out the entire left-hand side of that thing there, and that would take forever, and it's just not that noticeable.
Yeah.
So that's a big fat no. I think I'll be just fine and dandy as it is. Plus, it's going to be part of a big quilt. Who's really going to see it?
Especially like when people are talking about their chop points, I'm like, no one's gonna see that. Like, and you're like, you won't be able to see it if you're looking for it when it's done. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, no. There's certain stuff I will rip out and redo. But that was one where I was just like, no, I'm fine. So, Katie Cross is here. Good morning to you. It's good to see you. Yeah, I need to do more pattern writing. I made one pattern, and yeah, I'd like to do more. I just need to sit down and actually like stop for 5 minutes and actually finish writing that pattern. But will that happen? Who knows?
There's always
But will
things to sew.
Katie Cross says she finished 100 Acre Woods quilt yesterday. That is awesome. You'll have to send me a photo of it. I'd like to see that. I'm making progress. I finished cutting out the background fabric for Christopher Robin yesterday. So not yesterday, last weekend. So I was able to make some progress on him. And yeah, I'm very, very happy that I'm going to be able to finish that soon, because once Christopher Robin is done, you just put everything else together, and it should be really good when it's together. And then I got to figure out how to quilt it. So that's going to be the fun part. All right, did we get it right this time? Yes, we did. Okay, so now it's right, which is good. Yeah, Layla says call artistic license. Yes, that's a good one. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not, for me, it's not worth the hour or hour and a half or whatever it's going to take me to redo it. And I think it gives it a little bit of uniqueness as well. And no one's ever going to notice. I've shown 4 or 5 people now, and no one's picked up on it until I've actually said, "Hey, look." So it can't be that bad, right?
Let's see. I think we've
Good
got
morning, Donnell.
10
It's good to
minutes
see
left.
you.
So I did want to do another sneak peek of something I've got come up. This is my last long arm project for Island Boutique, and then I'm caught up on like long arm services. So there's this project backlog that I'm kicking off, and it's a giveaway for long arm services where I take 3 projects and I'll finish them for someone. So that's going to be posted soon, like as soon as I get this done, and then I'll have the capacity. But I just like, it drives me nuts that there's stacks of quilt tops out there waiting to be quilted, and people don't know what to do with them or can't afford long arm services. So I think that's going to be super fun. I'll announce it on Instagram and my YouTube and Facebook, and then the entry form will be on my website if people want to look out for that.
That sounds awesome. I'll have to go check that out. Yeah, I've got a big pile here. My wife keeps looking at me and saying, "When are you going to quilt those?" I'm like,
Ooh, you'll have to enter.
when I can. Yeah, I will. I'll definitely have to do that. But we're making slow progress on those. I definitely like to piece over quilts. So,
Yeah, for me, sometimes I'm piecing just so I can get to the quilting. So if I can pick up some of that slack for someone else that doesn't enjoy it or have the resources.
yeah, that's very generous of you, and I think it's fantastic. And yeah, I'll be definitely keeping an eye out for that, and put my name in the entry for that. That'd be fun. So there you go. Misty is asking how's it going with the VHS tape block. That's the one I was talking about that I need to finish. I've gotten the outline of it all done, but I got to sit down and figure out how. And I think I've written down the fabric dimensions and stuff, but I actually have to sit down and make a test block and then write the patterns. So if I can sit still long enough, it could be done soon. But me sitting still long enough to do anything is kind of hard. So I don't know. Well, hopefully soon. Why don't we try and say we'll get it done by the end of the year? I think that might be a reasonable expectation. I'd like to say sooner, but I make no promises. All right. Good morning, Miss Marlene. It's good to see you. Nikki says she didn't notice the thing on Christopher Robin until I pointed it out. So yeah, that's what everyone's telling me. So I'm just gonna stick with it and leave it at that. Okay. Yeah, we're going to do this the right way. Okay, cool. Looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm really excited because I've been working on this. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm working on a series of blocks that I'm trying to call retro. I started off with a floppy disk, the 3.5-inch version, like the save icon that you see around these days. The young kids these days may not even know what a floppy disk is. And then the next one I was working on is a VHS cassette, and then I want to do I've got a whole list of them. Let's see, where's my book? Because now that I'm thinking about it, I can't remember what it is, what they are. Yeah, like a boom box, an old school TV, an old school phone, maybe some roller skates, a cassette tape, a camcorder, that sort of thing there, maybe a skateboard. Yeah, so I've got some ideas in my head, and I just have to slowly work on these because I am not a certified or professional pattern writer. I'm kind of making it up as I go along. So we'll get them out there as soon as we can. So all right. Well, I might get this block done today. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm all loaded up. My husband installed a TV in the basement, but the machine's too loud. I don't know. Do you watch TV at all when you sew?
A little bit. I tend to watch more like something online here on the computer because how I have my room set up is I have this computer here when I have my lives, and then there's two monitors here that I also use for my home office, and it kind of blocks the view of the TV. So, yeah, when I'm in my sewing area, I really can't see the TV. So, yeah, I usually just put something on the computer, whether it's Netflix or something on YouTube or something else like that. Okay, Clint is on his way out for his dentist appointment. Hope everyone has a good weekend. Well, thank you for tuning in for a little while. You've done well to find a dentist that's open on a Saturday. They seem to be few and far between, at least in this area.
Yeah. For us.
Yeah, so Donnell is doing well with her. I think she was saying it earlier that she's an ambassador for cotton cuts as well. And this is her first time doing it, and she's doing the Tula pink colorway. I can't remember what it's called. This one is called Medusa, which is all batiks. She's doing I can't remember what it's called now. She'll have to tell me. Goodness. Sorry. Got some of this going on. Thank you all for bearing with me. I'm just a hot mess this morning.
Oh, you're doing great.
I don't know what's going on. Okay, and how are you doing if you got it loaded?
It is.
Oh, very good.
And like I just had my thread on for my last project, and I think I might not have to switch. And I just ordered a bunch more. I went a little bananas on Labor Day sales. I tell you what. Something
That's okay, though.
30% off. Oh man. So I got a bunch of new thread. Quilt in a day sale. I really want to do trip around the world quilts because you get to use long strips for that. So I've been planning that for a while.
Sounds good. I've been busy for a while. Okay. All right, what else we got going on here? All right, so another question we have for you there, Brittany, is how did you learn to quilt? Did someone teach you? Did you become a YouTube university graduate like myself, or did you take professional lessons? Like how did you learn how to quilt, and what kind of got you into the whole quilting thing?
Yeah, so it goes way back to watching public television, and I saw quilting on that. I was like, that is beautiful. And then like it looked so much more attainable because they have the set and it looks like a house. Like you can do that in your home. Like I had no idea. And like my great grandmother quilted, and it was all string quilts from sewing all the kids' dresses, and she would save all the scraps and do string blocks. And so like I thought that was quilting. I didn't know it was like an intentional craft with all coordinating threads and fabrics. And I just was really infatuated with that. So I researched it for a long time with library books and dove in with a twin size. And I gifted it and it still wasn't quilted. I put binding on it and it was still like all the pins were in it, the safety pins. Because people were telling me like, oh, you just tie it off. I'm like, I don't know what that is. They didn't show that on the show. And I didn't even know about long arm. Yeah. So it took a while to get that finished. And like I was always sewing dresses and stuff through college because I'm really tall. I'm a 5'11" woman, and so it's hard to find long enough dresses and pants. So I was sewing clothes first, and then the quilting world was really opening up. And then I just kept ramping up more and more over the years, doing baby quilts, and I just love it so much.
Yeah, I think it's like that's something we've realized recently too, and is that it's really hard to find clothes. When you're a taller lady. For the guys, it's not so hard. Because they make a lot of talls for the guys. But yeah, one of our girls, Lily, he is just on 6 foot tall, and yeah, trying to find jeans for her last weekend were just about impossible. We could
Yeah.
find the right size, but when we asked, where are the talls, they're like, oh, that's online. So we had to get online and order them for her. So
Yeah, and when you're
yeah,
tall, it's also like an awkward shape that's usually accommodated for, and like everyone's, a different size everywhere, and just because you're
oh
tall
yeah,
doesn't mean you fit a certain profile. So yeah, like growing up, I would just go to a tall girl store, and then I'd learn just how to modify, and it was still really expensive to get tall jeans, and then they still didn't fit. So I wore a
right.
lot of long dresses just because I could sew that up.
Yeah, but Lily's got a lot of those too. Sheila's asking Brittany, is there a quilt shop near you?
They just closed. There was one in
Oh,
Jeromesville, Ohio, called Country Charm. So I'm branching out more. There's one in Shelby, Ohio, that I want to visit. I know they've got a lot of panels and stuff. I'm trying to think of. We do a day trip down to Berlin, Ohio, and that's kind of Amish country, and they have a quilt shop there that I've checked out. I think what else?
yeah.
Oh, then there's like a
Yeah.
fabric outlet store called Zinks, and I go in there and I get all my backing.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate that we have several quilt shops within like 45 minutes of me. We've got Fabric Hut, which is over in Norfolk, which I go to quite a lot. There's one called the Quilt Shop, like 20 minutes from me in the other direction, and then Sunshine Quilt Corner's about 35 minutes away. Halo Inspirations is about an hour. So yeah, we've got quite a few that are nearby.
Hmm.
So that's really good.
And it's always fun to visit them because I didn't realize how much each shop has its own aesthetic. When I worked with
Yeah,
Cotton
so
and Steel, that was like a troubling thing. Like they couldn't really look online for trends on their fabrics, like because shops will just have a certain look. Like they only do reproduction, and some of them only want the bright store front, and it was really cool. So every shop that you go into just really has its own vibe.
yeah, they have their own collections and their own vibe.
Yeah.
And then there's one out in I think it's called Rice, Virginia, out near Farmville, about 2.5 hours west of here. And I cannot remember the name of the place, but it's like in this old barn house or barnyard or barn something. And it's just like a little adventure. Like you go around all these different corners, and it's just really neat to see what they have in each corner. So yeah, if you ever get a chance to go visit some quilt shops elsewhere, it's definitely well worth doing. I enjoy doing that when I can. I don't always get to do that when I travel, but if I'm able to, I can. Good morning to Miss Susan. It's good to see you as well. Did I go to a different touch? Yes, I have been to a different touch. It's over there in Norfolk. Um, I actually got some of I think I actually picked up some fabric there for Lorenzo's quilts. No, not Lorenzo. The girls' quilts last year because I miscut some stuff that I got from Fabric Hut. Um, so yeah, no, I have been there, and that's probably where I'll end up taking my Bonita to get service because it's actually closer to my office than Sunshine Corner is. Nikki's talking about that she's watched the complete season of Breaking Bad. That I enjoyed that show there as well. And then they're talking about Better Call Saul. That's also, and if you enjoy Breaking Bad, yeah, definitely check out Better Call Saul. It's a nice spin-off there as well. Okay, what else we got going on here?
So is there any novelty print that you see and then you just automatically have to have it? Like what's your spirit animal that manifests in fabric or
That is a fantastic question. I used to make a lot of drawstring project bags for knitters and crocheters, and so anytime it had sheep or anything else like that, I
oh,
would grab
so
it
cute.
so I could make that. And I still have some of that stuff laying around here. If it has Darksons on it, it usually ends up in my cart and on the cutting table. Um, or beagles, a lot of dogs will end up. And then I also like the ones of food, like ice cream, desserts, that sort of thing there. I love the food novelty fabrics. Yes, it's a wonderful question. I'd love to hear in the comments here as well. If you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments what novelty fabrics are your kryptonite or your spirit animal that ends up in your cart each and every time. And if you're here with us right now watching the live, in the live chat, let me know in the chat. I'd love to hear the answer to that. That is a fantastic question. I love that one. I might have to borrow that one and use it in a future episode of my
Go for it.
podcast
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Or maybe there's some
Okay.
novelty fabric, like you think of that one person, like, oh man, it's ducks. There's the
Yeah, I think for sure, with very rare exceptions, if I see a dark fabric, it usually ends, there's been a couple that I've looked at and like, yeah, it's not for me. But for the most part, yeah, I'm looking at my little stash over here and there's a lot of darks fabrics. So, in coffee, if I
Yeah.
can find a good coffee fabric, they often end up in my cart as well. So,
I know, and if you're a bee person, there's always fabric lines that got like lilac and bees and lavender bees. Like bees are really
yeah.
in for the past couple of years.
Yeah, Marlene says there are days of my spirit animals are seam ripper. Yeah, that seems to be me today. I've already used it 2 or 3 times. So you're not alone on that one today.
If
Andy
it's really
says,
bad,
oh,
then
good
you
morning.
become the seam ripper and you just
Yeah, but it's just one of those things that you just, I used to get frustrated by that. And then I think someone that was in the chat one day and said, you've got to think about it this way, like, the amount of time that you use the seam ripper versus the time that you don't is so little. There's no need. And we're all human. We all make mistakes. And I was like, that is an excellent way of thinking about it. I think
right.
I might use. Some days are more than others, but overall, you're only using the seam ripper. 1 or 2%, maybe 5%. So don't beat yourself up. None of us are perfect. So there you go. Teresa says she took a sampler class that did 4 blocks. One was applique, actually finished it in the class. That is awesome. Andy says giraffes are one that ends up in her cart all the time. Susan says, yesterday I took the 5 quilts that got blue ribbons at our fair to the Central Western State Fair. That sounds fun. Well, best of luck with your quilts there. I wish you the best of luck. Please let us know how you do with that. I'm always interested to see how my fellow content creators and my viewers do with their fair entries. That is awesome. I'm patiently waiting to see how the Virginia State Fair does. Yeah, Donnell, I thought she'd comment on this. She said, yes, I stocked up on bee fabric during Joanne's Fabrics closing since I'm a beekeeper. I did not go to Joanne's once they announced all the store closings. I don't know. I figured all the stuff that I'd want would be gone pretty quickly. So, plus, I wanted to remember Joanne's in the good days. I didn't want to see her on life support and that sort of thing there. So I just left her be. Chose to remember her for the good times. That was that. Donnell says, is unknown to spirit animal, LOL. If so, I'm that one too. Yes, why not? We can say they're a spirit animal. Linda says, good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. It is a cool 46 in Kansas City. So yeah, we are getting some cooler weather around here, which is nice. I think fall's starting to become, I think fall's starting to become my favorite season too. It used to be summer, but yeah, now I'm starting to think that fall is it for me. Andy says she read about a quilter who made an I Spy quilt with the letters of her son's name. Amazing variety, even within those limits. Yeah, that must have been a challenge to do that.
I bet that was such a treasure when it was gifted.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, definitely. Lisette says, I was working on a new project and spent almost the same amount of time ripping than I did sewing. I have a very simple rule when it comes to ripping. I'll rip it once. I will rip it twice if I have to. If I make the same mistake a third time, it goes into timeout and I come back to it later. Because obviously something is not right that day, and I either need to go work on something else or take a nap or just take a break. And so I don't see rips 3 times in the same sewing set on the same thing. If I make 3 separate mistakes, that's okay. I'm just having a bad day. But and I think there was actually a live one time where I was doing something and I actually made the same mistake 3 times, and I just said, off you go. And I pulled out something else. I always have a backup project in case I have to do that. So.
Yeah, for me, it was bindings around pot holder. That took me 3 tries.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I could not like join the thing right at the circle. I don't know. My brain just did not work that way.
Yeah, we all have those days, and it might be just that we didn't sleep well. It might be that we just had a busy week at work, or we just may not be focusing like we should be. It could be a million different things. You might have something on your mind that you don't realize that you're really thinking
Well,
about
that's
that
why it's
hard.
good to have multiple projects for different brain energies. If you're really on point, then you can do all your foundation paper piecing and match everything up. But if you just need to sit and sew, you got plenty of string quilts or strip piecing.
Yeah, that's what I like about these. This project that I'm working on right now, for the most part, once it needs a little bit of concentration, but it's not a lot. You just, basically unpack it and sew, which is really nice. And then this here is the completed block. Not really showing the pink. It's got more of a pink hue to it on some of these fabrics than the camera is showing, but it looks really, really nice. So, well, there you go. I'll start taking that advice there from Donnell. She says, if I have to seam rip 3 times, it's time to do puppy cuddles. Yeah, I like that. I think we'll just stick with that idea. Let's see what's going on here. I saw someone else popped in, I think. Oh yeah, Helen. Good morning, Miss Helen. It's good to see you. You are up bright and early. I know she's out there in Southern California, if I remember correctly. So good morning to you. I know you normally catch the replay, so it's really exciting to see you here in the live chat this morning here as well. Susan says the biggest collection of animals and cats. Oh, yeah, and she's out there on the West Coast too. So it's really cool to see some of our West Coast viewers coming to hang out with us, because I know I'm super early for you guys, but this is the best time for me and my family. So this is why I'm here now. Plus, it's fun to be able to kick off the weekend with each and every one of you as well. Where was I seeing it there? Someone said something about corgis. Nikki says she has corgi fabric. I haven't cut any of it, but collect it. Halloween fabric is my biggest stash. Yeah, I tend to grab a lot of corgi stuff too if I see it, because my dad used to breed corgis back in the day. So it's like his favorite breed of dog. I definitely love my dachshunds. So let's see. Linda says that's nice. She loves the purples. Ingrid, good morning. It's good to see you. Susan says West Coast to stick together. Yeah, I always love it when, I love everybody that comes in, but it's always fun to see the folks on the West Coast and the folks from Australia and that have, that are up either super late or early morning. Sometimes folks come because they can't sleep. And that's okay. Like doesn't matter why you're here. I'm just super grateful that you have decided to take some time out of your day, because there's plenty of places you can be. And I just like that you decided to come in and hang out with us for a little bit. So good morning, Miss Patty. It's good to see you there as well from Northern Nevada. The only part of Nevada I've been to is Vegas. We stopped there on the way home from Australia once for a couple of days. That's as far. That's the only part of Nevada I've been to. But I'd like to go out there again one day and just drive around and take a look at some different places. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I've been through the middle of the desert in Australia, but not in the US, unfortunately. One day I will.
Yeah, I lived out in Los Angeles for 3-4 years. And then I met my husband, and we moved out to Ohio.
Nice. Yeah, I've been to the airport and Holiday Inn down the street. I think I stayed there overnight because my flight home to Sydney was cancelled. So there was something wrong with the airplane. I think the flaps weren't working or something. Something that they needed to fly or land the plane. I don't know what was wrong with it, but they said it was broken, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to fly across a big
Yeah.
ocean with a broken aircraft. So thank you very much for not putting me on that.
Let them
Okay.
know they take all the time you need.
Yep. Yeah, I got a good night's rest and went back to the airport the next morning and we flew out the next afternoon. So, it was nice. So let's see. Linda says, I was up when you came on after a night of insomnia. Just finally fell asleep for a whole hour, LOL. So now it's time to get the day going. Well, I'm glad you're here. I really am. I said, I know people have trouble sleeping. I'm very fortunate that I can put my head down on a pillow after a long day and I'm like out 20 seconds later. I used to toss and turn a lot, but the last few years, my goodness, it's just put your head on a pillow and I'm out like a light, which is a good problem to have. So Kathy said she lived in a suburb of Kansas City in my 20s. She loved it. Great arts and music scene. Janet says she has been to Brisbane and up and down the coast. It's very beautiful. Brisbane's beautiful. Yeah, the whole east coast of Australia is wonderful. If you ever get a chance to go over there and take a look around, it's well worth seeing. Sydney Harbour is beautiful. I don't think I could live there with the traffic and everything else, but visiting Sydney is always a joy, especially if you're able to, just riding around on the ferries all day, or just sitting by the harbour. It's just a lot of fun. So Helen's apparently originally from Illinois. Janet says she's had a pen pal since the 6th grade. I went to meet her. Oh, that's fun. So there you go. So Linda says she normally falls right to sleep 5 to 6 hours, but last night she was wide awake all night. That's the worst. Especially like when you have to get up early or something like that. And you can't fall asleep.
The more you have to do, the harder it is.
Yeah, you just kind of got to let it go and just accept it. And I think sometimes you live in your own mind and it makes it worse. So
yeah, for a while quilting really helped with that. Like the machine noise just helped clear my head and just replace it with kind of a static.
and I think it's true for a lot of people. It's like this, I've heard several people tell me in the past that they'll turn on a live replay in order to fall asleep, and it might be that the machine might be part of it. Either someone has a soothing voice or the machine noise helps put them to sleep. It's kind of like white noise, that sort of thing there as well. So that works. Nikki says her brother lives in Redondo Beach, California. I'm probably butchering that. I love visiting, but could never live there. My sister lives in Southern Maryland. I could live there, but I love Missouri. The seasons aren't too long here. Yeah, Southern Maryland depends on which part of Southern Maryland. Somebody like the part over there, Baltimore, I probably would give a miss because it's just too much traffic and craziness there. Linda says, luckily she's retired, nothing this morning to do. I was just wide awake. Okay, well, at least that's good. Yeah, times I have trouble falling asleep is usually when I got to get up early next morning. That's always the worst part. Good morning, Miss Wendy. She says hello from Ontario, Canada. So it's good to see you. I probably really should be doing some more sewing, right? Grab Clue 8 and see what's going on with this one. Let me grab the pattern real quick. All right. Linda says she's quilted for a while. I am quilting patchwork garden too of Tilda fabrics. Well, that sounds fun.
I have not made a Tilda quilt yet, but it looks so awesome. I
have
some fabrics.
They look fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tend to do a lot of the Elizabeth Hartman and the Art East because they are quilts that really speak to me. So, but I always love seeing what everybody else gets up to. So, please share photos in the Discord group or your favorite content creators Facebook group, because I'm a member of just about all of them. So if you post them there, there's a good chance I'll see it there as well. So we'll do a little bit of this before we have to run away.
Yeah, I couldn't keep up with my Facebook group when I shut it down. Like the robots were just too bad for a while there. I'm like, you know what? Just battling robots at this point.
Well, that's the thing I liked about the Discord. It was a new format that my viewers were not used to, and it took some of them a little while to figure out how to get on there and how to use it and that sort of thing there. But we don't really have the issues with the bots and the advertising and the spammers and all that sort of mess that you can get on Facebook and everything else. So, and then there's other creators that have also started their own Facebook groups. I know Mona has, and Cherie, and somebody others. So, which is really good too, because it's another outlet for folks to use. And the more people that use Discord, the more people will get familiar with it. So we can all, I don't know. To me, it's a nice platform that we can all use. So there you go.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
Definitely. Okay. Nikki's brother lives across the street from the steps that go down to the beach. I love people watching when I'm there. Yeah, people watching is always fun. I tend to do that a lot at the airport, just watching the world go by. Janet says her husband sleeps in late, so I'm doing some machine embroidery this morning. That's why I'm live in the mornings, because everyone here likes to sleep in on a Saturday morning, so it works out beautifully for us. All right, so let's see what we got going on here. F, which is...
Has everybody changed their needle? That's a heads up.
No. I have not. I am the worst at that.
I know people say change it per every project. I'm like, well, I'm never done with something. Like I'm working on multiple things.
I know that's my issue too. I think it was it Becca said one night on her one of her lives. I think she has a thing where she pre-winds 6 bobbins, and once the 6th bobbin, or however many, might be 4 bobbins or 6 bobbins, whatever many it was, when those bobbins are gone, that's when she changes the needle. And I was like, well, that makes sense. That I should just set a monthly reminder on my phone, or I don't know. I need to be better. I know where my bobbins are. Maybe I'll just do it now and get it over and done with. Maybe come on here, little. Yeah. You can all watch me change my needle.
It's beginning of the month, so it's still time.
Yeah, it's beginning of the month. This way I can... We all know I've done it. I've got a million of the darn things here, so it's not like I don't have any. I just always forget. So yeah, so this is your friendly reminder. If you haven't done your needle change, today is a really good day to do it. Change it before you start sewing if you want. Come here, Mr. Needle. Go. Up, out. You might be a difficult little beast, aren't you? All right, let's see the struggles of Sean trying to get this needle out. Because apparently, I must have tightened this a little too tight. To rename this live, The Struggle is Real. Well, you really don't want me saying the good things, Sean. I'm a horrendous singer. Hope I'm doing this in the right way. This is I was trying to show you like what I was doing, and this is just not working out to my advantage. You're all laughing at me right now. That's perfectly all right. What is not going to function? Okay. You know what? Get you out of the way. Oh, I've changed needle on this machine before. Success. Okay. Well, that was a lot more difficult than it needed to be.
Good mornings.
Okay. So, there we go.
That's going to be a lucky needle, though. No more seams.
Sorry?
That's going to be a lucky needle, though.
Yes, I hope so. With the amount of the struggle I had to do that, I'm hoping it's a lucky needle. I usually have pretty good luck with them, you know, all jokes aside. So, Central Dairy, apparently that was a really good ice cream place out there in Missouri. If you ever end up in Canada and you want a good ice cream, there's a place up there called Cow's. It's mostly on the East Coast. I think it was founded in Prince Edward Island. There's one in Halifax. There's a couple in Charlottetown. One in Niagara on the Lake. Very, very good ice cream. Love their ice cream. So,
Yum. What's your flavor?
yeah. All right. Well, I think now that we've changed our needle, I'll sew a couple of little things and then we'll go ahead and start saying goodbye because our time is almost up. It's just raced along. And then later on, once you're done here, you can go grab some coffee, maybe grab a bagel or whatever else that you like, and then come back at 10 o'clock and visit Miss Donnell because she is back. I'm pretty sure she's alive today. She hasn't told me otherwise. What am I missing here? Bobbin Street, yeah. Oh,
Do you still have your Excel with all the schedules on it?
I do. Yeah, we made updates on that the other day. If you aren't on there for whatever reason, just let me know when you are going to be live, and I'll definitely update that. And that goes for everybody. But I had a couple of people tell me that made some changes, and if you don't tell me, I might not notice. So, yeah. So Donnell's at 10. Russ is usually live at 11, and then Mama Pop. You pop in here once in a while. They're usually live at 1. Katie will be live at 4. So, yeah, lots of quilty goodness. Later on a day. Do you go live at all, Brittany?
Let's see. Not yet, no.
No, not yet. Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe,
I'm planning it soon.
maybe one day. Well, if you do and you have a weekly schedule or whatever, just let me know and I'll definitely add you on. Oh, it's a big thing of fluff. Where'd that come from? I have to go clean my machine later on too. Okay, Donnell says yes, she is live at 10 a.m. And then John from Craft Guys 2 will be my guest today. Oh, he's always a lot of fun. So, oh no, okay, that's it. I'm done. The needle's falling out. That is my sign to take a break. So we'll turn the machine off. It is, and that's okay. We're going to go out and do some fun stuff with the girls in a little bit. It just seems like, yeah, it's just the universe is saying, Sean, okay, you've had your fun. Take a break and go do something else. So, do you have anything fun coming up with your channel that you want to tell everybody about? Because people have popped in probably since we started talking at the beginning of the live.
Yeah, so I've had a pause since we're doing home renovations, and now that's going to be up again. I've got my spooky box coming, so I'll unbox that and make some projects. And yeah, we'll just go from there. Like that's how I kind of get back into the groove of things. Like, just show some fabric. Everyone likes to see that.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put um, Brittany's link back into the chat. If you haven't already seen it, please go over and check out her channel. If you like what you see, you know what to do. You can hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and yeah, hit the like button on every video you see, because you can only subscribe once, but you can like every video. And then there's actually another thing out that I was going to talk about, and I might as well just get it over, talk about it now. Is there's a new thing now called hype that YouTube has rolled out, and you can hype up to 3 videos a week. So you can't hype everybody. So you have to kind of be picky about who you can hype. But you might see this new button called hype, and if you really like a video and you want to kind of get it out, help people share it and that sort of thing there, that is a really good way to do it as well. I don't know much about it. I've just been reading a little bit about it. So yeah, if you find a video you really like and you want to help out that creator, you can also hit that hype button as well. So there you go. I'll be back tomorrow morning with my podcast as usual. We'll be sharing some progress on some different things as usual. I'm looking forward to doing that. It's always one of my highlights of the week along with this live. I just want to say thank you for joining us today. It's always good having you all join us for a little while. I hope you all have a great day. Hopefully you have a better sewing day than I have in the last 5 minutes. But if you do, take a break, walk away, get a cup of coffee, just take a couple of deep breaths and then come back, and it usually gets a whole lot better from there. I hope you all have a great day. Happy sewing, and we will see you all in the next one. Bye.
All right, see ya.
Bye.